Hello everyone, my name is Josh Barron, Certified Instructor here at Midwest Truck Driving School. Now today we're going to cover how to shift a 10-speed. Now I will tell you there's a lot of different types of non-synchronized transmissions. This is a 10-speed, a straight 10-speed non-synchronized transmission. But also you have 8-speed, you have 9-speed, you have 13-speed, you have 16-speed, you have 18-speed. But I will tell you, once you know how to shift one non-synchronized transmission, you can shift just about all non-synchronized transmissions. So let's start with the actual shifter right here. So straight 10-speed is really a 5 on 5. And so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as you can see on our shift pattern right here. And then you put that main splitter up and then all the way back to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So all the way down and back is 1, and then 2, and then 3, 4, 5, and then get the main splitter up, and then all the way back to first is technically 6 now, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So one of the things that a lot of people ask is like going from 6th to 7th can be difficult, as well as 1st to 2nd, because when you're in 6th, a lot of people want to go up, over, and up. Well, if you do that, up, over, and up, you just went into 9th gear. The reason for that is because you have a spring right here. And notice how this spring pushes you right back to center, right in between 7th and 8th, or 2nd and 3rd. And so when you're going from 6th to 7th, you're kind of going on an angle from 6th to 7th here, because that spring will naturally push you right over into that next gear. So you don't want to go up, over, and up. If you do that, you're going to be in 9th gear. You want to just let that spring take it up and then keep pushing forward almost on an angle, and that's going to bring you right into 7th gear. The other thing is, when you're empty, a lot of times you can start off in 2nd, 3rd, or 4th gear. When you're fully loaded, typically you're going to want to start right in 1st or 2nd gear. And then reverse is going to be all the way up and forward. You have low reverse, and then you also technically have high reverse as well. I will tell you, rarely ever will you ever use high reverse in a CMV. Typically you always use low reverse. The other thing we're talking about is double clutching. Now double clutching is the technique used to shift a non-synchronized transmission. So for a majority of trucks, including this one right here, when we get to 1500 RPMs, we're going to double clutch and we're going to grab a gear. No matter what gear we're in, we can up a gear, grab a gear at 1500 RPMs. At 1000 RPMs, that's when we can downshift one gear. And so double clutching simply means we're going to push the clutch once to take it out of gear and push it again to put it back into gear. And notice how we are not pushing the clutch to the floor. Now I will tell you, anytime you want to get your seat adjusted, to push the clutch to the floor, you should be fully extended. Notice how my foot is fully extended to the floor. If your foot's not fully extended, what's going to happen is you're going to hit the clutch brake, which is on the very, very bottom side of the clutch. And what that does, that stops the whole transmission so we can get into gear, because once again, there's no synchronizers, as these are non-synchronized. So when we're bumping the clutch, we're just bumping it just a couple inches past the free play, which is about 2 to 3 inches. You can see right there. And then once again, double clutching means we push the clutch to put in neutral, clutch again to put it in gear. So let's go ahead and try this out. We're going to go ahead and start off in first. Once again, we're going to activate that clutch brake when we're starting or stopping, which means we're going to push that clutch to the floor. We're going to go ahead and put it in first gear, and we're going to go ahead and take off. As we accelerate here, we're going to get her up to 1500 RPMs, and I'm going to push the clutch to put it in neutral, and then the clutch again to push it into 2nd gear. As you can see, just like that, we're simply bumping that clutch. Now we're in 2nd gear. We're going to get her back up to 1500 RPMs, and we're going straight down, clutch to put neutral, clutch to put in gear, and notice how it just pops in. If you do everything right, this shifter should pop right in like a hot knife through warm butter. It should be really, really smooth. So now we're going to get back up to 1500 RPMs, and now we're going from 3rd over to 4th, clutch neutral, clutch gear. And notice how it just pops right in as when everything lines up, that shift window opens up and that gear shift is going to pop right in. So now we're in 4th and we're going to go to 5th. We're going to ride that right wall all the way down and get her right into 5th gear, and then we know we're right where we need to be. And we can continue doing this all the way up through the gears. Now at this point, I could get her back up to 1500 RPMs, put the splitter up, and at that point I would go into sixth gear, which is going to be all the way over and down into sixth gear. But I'm going to put that splitter back down. Remember, the splitter only works in neutral. So putting the splitter up right now, we didn't go into 10th gear technically. No, because that splitter only works in neutral. So I'm put the splitter back down, and now we're going to downshift. So downshifting means we're going to go, in this case, from 5th to 4th. We want to be at 1,000 RPMs approximately. We're going to put the gear shifter in neutral, and then we're going to rev her up to 1,500 RPMs, and then we're going to drop it into 4th gear. Now, downshifting, 1,000 RPMs, clutch to put the gear shifter in neutral, and then we rev her up to 1,500 RPMs, and then clutch, and then put it in the gear. So I'm going to go and make my turn here, and then once again, we're at 1,000 RPM, so clutch to put the gear shift neutral, rev to 1,500, clutch gear. As you can see, we drop down to 3rd gear. Now we're going to do the same here. We're at 1,000 RPMs, clutch to put the gear shift neutral, rev to 1,500, clutch gear, and now we're in 2nd gear. And now we can drop to 1st gear, clutch neutral, rev, clutch, and now we're in 1st gear. And just like that, we've downshifted in 1 gear at a time, all the way down to 1st gear. One thing that's really important about downshifting is that rev. You're not revving to 1,000 or 1,200, you're revving to 1,500. You got to give it a good manly rev, get her up to that 1,500 RPMs, and then you know that's going to open that shift window and allow you to get it into gear. So let's go ahead and hit the road right here. And once again, we're in 1st gear, we're at 1,500 RPM, so clutch neutral, clutch gear, and notice how when everything lines up, it'll just go right in like a hot knife through warm butter. We're in 2nd gear. We're going to go ahead and ramp it up again here. Clutch neutral, clutch gear. This is going to bring us into 3rd gear, and we'll head out of the parking lot here. And now we're in 3rd gear. We're going to go ahead and go clutch neutral, clutch gear, and this is going to bring us into 4th gear. And notice when that shift window opens up, we should be able to get it into that gear no problem. It should be able to pop right in. Really, a baby could push that shifter in as long as we are going in the right gear. Now, as we head onto the road, remember there's always an implied stop sign anytime we're leaving a parking lot or a driveway. We always want to come to a complete stop. So I'm in 4th gear right now, and being empty, we can start off in 4th gear. We're just going to ride that clutch a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and make our turn. As we know, we want to make really wide turns on the road. Typically, it takes about 2.5 lanes to make a turn. So you'll hear us talk about squaring off our turns quite often. Go straight, 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 and then left, or straight, 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 and then right. That's really important. And anytime we're turning, we're watching our tandems. We want to know, where's our trailer? What is it running over? Is it running over things that we shouldn't be running over? Really important to pay attention to all those things. Now I'm in 4th gear. I'm at 1,500 RPMs. Clutch to put the gear shift neutral. Clutch in there. I'm going to ride that right wall right into 5th gear. Now I'll put that splitter back up, and I'm going from 5th over to 6th. Clutch to put the gear shift neutral. Clutch to put in gear, and now I'm in 6th gear. Notice how the splitter, I put the splitter up before I shifted. I put it up in 5th, and that way when I went to 6th, it automatically went into that high range and got me into 6th gear. All right, so we'll come up to the stop sign here, and we'll go ahead and do some more upshifting and downshifting. So as we get close to the stop sign, I'm going to get down to 1,000 RPMs. I'm going to put the splitter down, because now I'm going down to the low range to 5th. Clutch to put the gear shift to neutral. Rev to 1,500, clutch gear, and now we are in 5th. Down to 1,000 RPMs, clutch neutral, rev, clutch, 4th. Down to 1,000 RPMs, clutch neutral, rev, clutch, 3rd. And we'll just keep going for funsies. We're at 1,000 RPMs, clutch neutral, rev, clutch, 2nd. And we'll drop one more, rev, clutch, 1st. I will tell you, a lot of times, guys only will downshift to 6th, 5th, maybe 4th gear. You don't need to downshift into those lower gears, but that's just to show you kind of how that process looks. All right. So now we'll stop at her before the stop sign. We're going to go ahead and put her back in 4th gear here, and we're going to go ahead and make our stop here. And we're going to go and continue on here. Once again, we need 2.5 lanes to make a turn. So we'll go straight, straight, and then we'll turn. We'll watch our tandems as we turn. These don't have self-canceling turn signals, so we're going to cancel our turn signal. We're in 4th gear, clutch neutral, clutch gear. We're going up. We're in 5th gear now. We're going to put that splitter up. So we're going from 5th to 6th, clutch neutral, clutch 6th. And now we're going to back up to 1,500 RPMs. Now we're going from 6th to 7th. Remember, I'm not going up, over, and up. I'm just gonna go up, let that spring take it a little bit to the right, and then back straight, and it's gonna put us into 7th gear. Back up to 1600 RPMs, 15, 16 RPMs, and now we're gonna go from 7th to 8th, clutch neutral, clutch 8th. I'm just going straight back. That's gonna drop right into gear. Back up to 1500 RPMs, and I'm gonna go from 8th, and so from 8th to 9th, this is where you wanna go up, over, and up. And then 9th and 10th, remember, is that right wall. So once again, clutch neutral, clutch gear, I'm in 9th gear. A couple things to remember here too is if you ever get lost in the transmission, we're like, oh, I don't know what gear I'm in, or I don't know what gear I'm going to, you can look at your speedometer, and that'll help you as well. And so what I mean by that is you can look at your speedometer and say in this case, with a straight 10 speed, if you're at 45 miles an hour, 5 plus 4 is 9. You should be in about 9th gear. If you're at 35 miles an hour, 5 plus 3 is 8. You should be in about 8th gear. If you're at 25 miles an hour, 5 plus 2 is 7. You should be in 7th gear. 15 miles an hour, 5 plus 1 is 6. You should be in about 6th gear. And so if we just let that shifter go like, oh, I don't know what gear I'm in. Okay, 35 miles an hour, 5 plus 3. All right, little rev, little clutch, and it's gonna pop right into 8th gear. Notice how it just popped right in, right how we wanted it. Once again, we're at 25 miles an hour in. Say we lost our gear again. Once again, little rev, little clutch, and we're gonna pop into 7th, no problem here. We're gonna get her back down to 1,000 RPMs, clutch neutral, rev, clutch 6. We're gonna put that splitter down because we're going into low range. We're getting down to 5th, clutch neutral, rev, clutch 5th. Notice how it just pops right in like a hot knife through warm butter. Rev, clutch 4th, and I'm gonna keep it in 4th this time. Idle up to the stop sign in 4th. Hello, kind sir, and then I'll bring it to a stop. All right, it is a 3-way stop, so we are the next to go here, and we're going to continue on. Once again, I like to, you'll see me kind of bob my head back and forth. The reason for that is because you have big blind spots here, and so we don't want to be a statue right here. We want to bob our head kind of back and forth because we want to look around those blind spots. Now we're at 1500 RPM, so clutch neutral, clutch gear, we'll bring it into 5th gear. We're gonna put that splitter up because we're increasing our speed. We're going fast here. We're going from 5th to 6th here, and we're right at 15 miles an hour here as well. And we're gonna make a left at the traffic light here. And so one thing that's important, anytime we're making a left-hand turn, before we get in that left-hand lane, I'm gonna check my mirror. My blind spot mirror, my fisheye mirrors over here, my flat mirrors, because I want to make sure nobody is sneaking in next to me. So really important, check that mirror. We'll leave that blinker on here. We'll put her back down here, and we will go and idle up to our stop line here. Remember, we want to stop at or before the stop sign. If there's a stop line, we want to stop at or before the stop line. Or if there's a crosswalk, we want to make sure that we stop before the crosswalk. So we got a green light here. Now with a green light like this, we still have to yield oncoming traffic. There's no oncoming traffic, so we're gonna go straight, and we're gonna go ahead and turn. As we turn, we're gonna go ahead and watch our trailer tandems here. As you can see, our trailer tandems here wrap around that corner really well. I'm gonna shut off my turn signal. I'm at 1500 RPM, so I'm gonna grab a gear, and I am in the left lane, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to the right lane. Remember, it's left to left and then merge right. Really important, left to left and then merge right. That is the proper way to do it. That is important for your test. That is gonna be what they want to see. As we accelerate here, I'm checking my mirrors every 8 to 10 seconds, checking my gauges every 15 to 20 seconds. As we come through a traffic light here, I'm looking left, looking right. Big thing there is want to make sure no one's blowing that stop light or that stop sign. So we're gonna change lanes here. I'm gonna check my mirrors here, check my my mirrors again during the change, and we're going to change lanes. And now we're coming up to a traffic light, so I'm gonna get down to 1,000 RPMs, and now I'm gonna go ahead and downshift here. There we go. And we're gonna hop into that lane. Once again, I'm checking that mirror before I hop into that left turn lane because I want to make sure no one's trying to squeeze in next to me here. That's really important. So let's go and downshift again here. All right, we're in 5th. All right, we're in 4th, and just like that, we got a green arrow. So a green arrow means we do have the right of way. So that is exciting stuff. And so a green arrow, we're still going to keep an eye on traffic. We're gonna make our turn left to left right here, and then we're gonna go and cancel our turn signal. We're gonna put that right blinker on, clutch neutral, clutch gear is gonna bring us into 6th gear. We're gonna turn down the heater a little bit. It's getting a little hot in here. It's getting hot in here, and so we're gonna go ahead and turn and get back in the right lane. And now we're gonna continue on. We are in 6th gear, so we're gonna bring it into 7th gear here, get it back up to 1500 RPMs. As you can tell, there's a lot going on here. And so that's part of this, is we're gonna get a lot of practice on the road, a lot of practice as we come to the intersection here. We're gonna be looking left, looking right, making sure no one's blowing that stop light or that stop sign on either side. We're in 7th gear here. We're at 1500 RPM, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab a gear, clutch neutral, clutch gear will bring us into 8th gear. And now I see a stop sign, stop light coming up ahead. So I'm gonna go ahead and I was trying to change lanes there, but I couldn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and downshift a couple of gears here, and we'll go ahead and make this work here. We got her in 5th, and we'll come on up. The other thing here is, if you can see the car in front of me, we want to have a good space cushion between us and the car in front of me here. So typically we want a minimum of a car length, and that's because if that car dies right there and blows up, we want to be able to get around that car. So in this case, we can have enough room to get around that car and to do so safely. So as you can see, we started back off in 4th gear. We're going to back up to 15 RPMs, clutch neutral, clutch gear. As we go through the intersection, I'm going to look left, look right through the intersection, make sure no one's blowing that stop light or that stop sign. Put that splitter up. We're going from 5th to 6th, get her back in gear, back up to 15 RPMs. We're going from 6th to 7th. We're increasing our speed. Notice how I just let that shifter go up. You kind of go on an angle and it'll go right into gear. We're in 7th now, and we're gonna head and go from 7th to 8th. We're going straight down into 8th gear, clutch neutral, clutch gear. We'll let that clutch out nice and slow. I'm gonna go and change lanes to my left here. I can see that it's clear and safe to do so. I can check my blind spot mirror right here, check my fisheye, and my west coast mirror right here, and we'll go ahead and change lanes. And now we are driving. Remember, you can't drive in the left lane unless you're passing or turning, all right? We're in the left lane right now, but that's only because we're gonna be making a left-hand turn up here. If you're not passing or turning, so we're turning here, but if you're not passing or turning, then you have to make sure you're in the right lane. And don't wait to the tester to ask you to do that, just do it. Get back into that right lane. That's the safest thing to do. So we're reaching our turn up ahead here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start slowing down here and start downshifting. We're gonna get her down to 1000 RPMs, and we're gonna go ahead and downshift. Clutch neutral, rev clutch. I'm gonna check my mirror, make sure no one's squeezing in next to me in this left turn lane. Get that down to 1000 RPM. I'm in 7th, rev clutch 6th, and now I'm gonna go and drop one more here. Rev clutch 5th. As you can see, we have oncoming traffic, so we'll go and bring it to a stop. I'm gonna go ahead, so this time I'm gonna go and put her in 3rd. So for 3rd, remember, I'm gonna rest right against that spring right there in the middle, and I'm gonna go straight down. You don't wanna be against the right wall, you wanna be right against that spring. This spring right here, right against it and down, is gonna bring us into 3rd gear. Remember, when we're stopped, you're gonna wanna put this in neutral and give your leg a rest. Don't do that. You wanna maintain your foot pressure on the clutch, and I tell you, sometimes those muscles, they'll take a minute to get those muscles built up for that, but you'll be okay. Keep that clutch pushed in, that way you're ready to go. Keep it in gear. That's really important. There's really 2 big things that the tester's looking at to make sure you're in control of this vehicle, and that's always being in a gear and having 2 hands on the steering wheel, unless you're doing something important with the other hand, like grabbing a gear or adjusting the defroster, something along those lines. So now it is clear, so I'm gonna go and make my turn here. I'm gonna check my TAMs as we go. After we made our turn, I'm gonna turn off our turn signal, and then we're at 15 RPM, so clutch neutral, clutch gear. We're in 4th gear, back up to 15 RPMs, clutch neutral, clutch gear. We're in 5th. I'm gonna put that splitter up now, because we're going from 5th to 6th in anticipation for that next gear. Here we go to 6th now, and we're right here, and we'll go ahead and go back up to 7th here. Once again, we're going up, and then let that spring take you just a little bit to the right, and then back up, and it'll punch it right into 7th gear. And now back up to 15 RPMs, and we can clutch neutral, clutch gear to 8th, and we're right where we need to be. That, in a nutshell, is how you shift a non-synchronized manual transmission. So once again, this is something that takes time. It takes a lot of practice, but it's important to know, okay, what am I doing wrong, or what's the foundation to build off of? This is the foundation right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and downshift here. We got a corner, so that advisory speed limit sign that we just passed said 15 miles an hour, which means we always want to be a minimum 5 miles an hour beneath the advisory speed limit sign, which in this case would be 10 miles an hour, which is what we need to be, 5 to 10, no more than 10. So we make our turn right here. We're in 5th gear. I'm gonna put that splitter up, back up to 15 RPMs, and I'm gonna grab another gear to 6th, and then we'll continue on. And I'm gonna pull back into the parking lot here. So I'm gonna go and turn my left turn signal back on. I'm gonna get it back down to 1,000 RPMs, and we're going downshift back down to 5th here. And we're gonna go and continue on here and take it nice and wide. And we'll make our turn. Watch our tandems as we turn, and that right there is gonna do it. So I'm gonna go and downshift one more gear just for funsies, bring it down to 4th, and actually just one more rev clutch 3rd, and now we're going to turn off our turn signal. Go and come to a stop, put it in neutral, pop both of our brakes, and that is going to conclude how to shift a non-synchronized manual transmission. So once again, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, send me an email, and just know this is something that takes a lot of practice. This is not something that happens overnight. It takes a lot of practice, and there's a lot of little tips and tricks that I gave you throughout this little training here, and if you utilize that stuff, you're gonna be successful in shifting. Thanks again for watching, and have yourself a great day, and thank you for choosing Midwest Truck Driving School. Take care.